So hi guys, I welcome you all for the 5 editorials of the week series. So in this initiative, we'll be identifying 5 important editorials which came in the Hindu in the last 1 week, and we'll be discussing that with respect to the mains point of view. Okay. So this initiative mainly aims at enabling you to take some points for the mains answer rating. Okay. So the YouTube live, so we have to repeat everything. So with this note, let us start the today's session without any delay. So these are all the editorials which we are going to discuss today. First editorial is about the article section 69A of IT Act, and the second editorial is about the Ladakh disengagement in the Pongong Tso Valley, and the third one is about the disinformation. It is a cybersecurity issue. We'll discuss that, how the fake news are used to hack the cognitive senses of the people. And the next one is about the bureaucracy, the arguments regarding the recent privatization and the Prime Minister's statement. And the last one is about the Priya Ramani case judgment with respect to the Me Too movement. So today there are a lot of, all the 5 are very important today because each and every one is very much relevant to the main topic. So this is the first editorial, fuzzy law, unclear jurisprudence and trampled rights. So Gautam Bhatia is a Delhi-based lawyer. So here he is talking about the issues with respect to the recent conflict between the government and the Twitter. So recently, government ordered Twitter to revoke a certain Twitter accounts. So we would have seen those Twitter accounts which use the hashtag regarding farmers' protests with a word called genocide in it. So since it might create a wrong impression against India, or it might create some issue, so government asked Twitter to revoke those accounts. So Twitter, in response, they revoked it. But within 2 days, since there was a huge outclash among the people, they brought this account back to normalcy. So that created a conflict between government and Twitter because government gave them the order under section 69A of IT Act. Under 69A of IT Act, if the service provider is not following the government order, then government can take action against them and provide 7 years jail for the Twitter CEO, whoever is working in India. So this is the problem now. So what Twitter said that whatever action they took, so according to Twitter, whatever action they took is legal based on the Indian law. Because what they are telling the order given by the government is not legal. So what Twitter said was the order given by the government was not legal. So according to Indian law and Article 19, we cannot take away the accounts of journalists. So there were a lot of accounts of journalists and media houses also. A few media houses pages also was there. And based on the content and all those things, Twitter took that stance, and that led to the conflict now. Now, whether government can give order under 69A or not. So this is the issue. So that is the thing which is being discussed in this editorial here. Okay, section 69A of IT Act, associated issues to right to freedom of expression. So that is a brief background. Government order is not being followed by Twitter. So there are many issues associated with this thing. So we'll see that. So Twitter accounts which posted the hashtag regarding farmer protests were suspended by the Twitter, but restored later. This restoration later after the public outlash is the trigger for the main problem, leading to conflict with the government. So what another issue is that government also gave name of certain accounts which didn't use the hashtag. Of course, using that hashtag appears to be wrong. It is against the sovereignty and integrity of India and security of the state. Yes, that there was some misinformation. There was no genocide taking place. So the hashtag had some misinformation which should be revoked. That is true. But government in that list gave certain other accounts which never used that hashtag. Like Caravan, which is a magazine, which is an online media house. So that was the argument of Twitter. These accounts never used the hashtag, why we have to revoke? So that led to the conflict between government and Twitter. So, and that is also opening up the issues regarding the section 69A of IT Act. So there was an issue a few years back during the death of Paul Thackeray. So when Paul Thackeray passed away, 2 girls of Mumbai, they tweeted against, so because of the death, you know, when a political leader is dying, that will create a huge traffic. So 2 girls commented against the traffic which is being created by the people belonging to the party. So then government arrested those 2 girls for posting the tweet against the political party after the death. So earlier there was a provision called section 66A of IT Act. So there was this provision called 66A of IT Act, so which allowed government to take action against the citizens who are posting any post in the social media. If you are using social media to post any illegal post, government can take action. So it wasn't mentioned as social media, it will be mentioned electronic platform. If you are using electronic platform or a message or call or anything to do any illegal activity, government can take action. Based on that, they took action. So then a lawyer called Shreya Singhal, she filed a case, and in that case judgment, Supreme Court said that section 66A should be scrapped. So the next year itself, UPSC asked the question based on the 66A and right to freedom of expression and social media. So now we are having an issue. I'm just telling you, now we are having an issue which is connected to 69A of the same act. So which can also be a possible question in the mains examination. So that's why this editorial is very important. In GS2, we are having fundamental rights where it is very much relevant. So now, what is the present situation now? Online free speech in India is now dependent on the extent to which social media platforms are able to stand up against the government's order. So what this point is telling that here, whether my right to freedom of expression as a citizen is now in the hands of Twitter. It should be in the hands of government. It is a responsibility of the government to protect my freedom of expression under Article 19. But now, and if someone is breaking it, then I can go to Supreme Court. Now, what is happening? The new situation. These online free organizations like Twitter and Facebook. Now it's up to their discretion. So now government asked the Twitter to ban those accounts, but Twitter didn't ban it. So now who is protecting the right to freedom of expression? Our right to freedom of expression, now it is being protected by a private corporate. Again, it is up to their discretion whether legally they are strong or not, whether the order of the government will stand in the court legal or not. So based on this, they are taking an action. So this is what is creating a new issue, which is not sustainable. So today they might support, tomorrow Twitter might not listen. So if that is happening, means our right should not be hinging upon the discretion of a private company. It should be either with the government or with the Supreme Court. So this is what the problem now. Twitter should not have the discretion here. What Twitter did was right at one side, but that discretion should not be with the Twitter. So today they will support, tomorrow they won't support. So that is a problem. So which is not at all sustainable. So we need a sustainable solution for this issue. So this is the dark area, this is the gray area and under Article 69A. Government giving order to a private company listening or not. So that discretion is a gray area where our rights are in the hands of these private companies. So what the 69A says. So let us see a few provisions of 69A, because when you are writing answer, if possible, you can. So section 69A talks that, just see the highlighted portion, don't read everything. In the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India, defense of India, security of the state, friendly relation with foreign state, public order, or preventing incitement to any commission. So preventing the incitement to any commission of any cognizable offense. So these are all the provisions which are given under Article 69A, based on which government can order power to issue directions for blocking public access of any information through any computer resource. So on these issues, so these issues are also mentioned in Article 19, Clause 2 of fundamental rights, which are exceptions for freedom of expression. So based on that, government can give order to a private company to take that information. And it is also telling that what is the rules to be followed while blocking such things. So on the rules on the procedure and safeguards may be prescribed later by the government. So Parliament is not making the law, they are allowing the government to fix the rules. What the rules should be followed, how the protocol should be followed between the government and the private company when such order are going. So based on this only, government brought in this blocking rules of 2009. Okay, so let us see about that. So if the intermediary is failing, up to 7 years jail can be given. So note on these provisions. You might, if there is a chance, if there is a question directly from 69A, you can write that in the introduction or somewhere. Okay, so just don't need to memorize anything, just have an idea. So it is similar to Article 19 to whatever reasonable exemptions given there. So Article 69A of IT Act, power of the government to issue direction to any intermediaries for blocking any posts. And if at all the intermediary is not following, there is a jail sentence of 7 years. And based on the second provision only, government brought this blocking rules, blocking of online content rules 2009. So there they have discussed the protocol. So according to the protocol, government's order given to the private company is secret. It should be confidential. It should not be released in the public. So there is this provision under these rules, which says that orders given by the government to that private company should be secret, it should be confidential. And why they are asking to revoke that? The government is not having any obligation to provide the reason why they are asking the private company to remove. If government is telling them to remove, they have to remove. And both government and private companies should not reveal the reason outside. Okay, so this confidentiality clause is again another major issue under section 69A, which should be addressed now. So one thing is discretion of the corporate company. So now, because of this confidentiality clause, censorship is very easy now. Okay, because government just like that they can say any account. Okay, in the null account in the block பண்ணிடு. அந்த மாதிரி government can give orders for any account. So there is no obligation for the government to provide any reasons. So and they are shifting the burden of proof on the person who is posting now. Okay, so government is not giving any reason. If at all I am posting something and my account is blocked means now I have to give the proof that I didn't post anything illegal. I have to go to court to revoke my account. So that's why even Shashi Tharoor's account was revoked, and Shashi Tharoor went to court and filed a case. So now if the person should go to court and file the case. So that is the issue now. And the user will not even know why their account has been blocked. So they don't know why their account is blocked. Just like that, their account will be blocked. Without knowing why your account was blocked, then you with what basis you will go and file case under Article 32. Article 32 ல ரிட் பண்ணனும்னா I should know the reason why எனக்கு எதுக்கு பிளாக் பண்ணாங்களே தெரியலனா நான் எப்படி போய் ரைட்ஸ் கேஸ் போட முடியும். So that is another challenge here. User will never know why it was blocked. Reason is not provided. And based without reason, how they can challenge it. So that is the next issue. Next one is procedural safeguard. So there is no opportunity given to the person for any explanation. Even without asking the explanation or rights to the user, without anything, government is directly blocked. So before taking action, government can ask why you posted this. So on the mari, there is no procedural safeguard for the users, no opportunity for hearing the affected parties. So directly court to go, who should go to court? The person whose account was blocked should go to court. And that person is not knowing the reason also. So this is the issue now. So in the case la, and the hashtag na reason who said na, government said. After 2 days of outlash in Twitter, government itself said that because of the genocide hashtag only we have banned it. Because Twitter didn't reveal it. Because of this clause. So government சொன்னதுனால we knew this. So in the mari வந்து again there is some gray areas within this section which should be taken class. So just now we discussed about the Shreya Singhal case. When this case was going on, government decided to Supreme Court struck off the 666A which said that government can take action. அதாவது earlier எப்படி provision இருந்ததுன்னா you can also take criminal action on those who have posted the comment. இப்போ அந்த section இல்ல. So section 66A said that criminal action can be taken. Now that section is not there. But even that time also people filed case against the 69A also. But அப்போ Supreme Court upheld the 69A. So we need this because we cannot trust anyone. நாளைக்கு வந்து terrorism related issues also can be posted. So government should have some power to revoke certain tweets or revoke certain accounts. And the power government should have. அதனால Supreme Court spared. ஆனா the issue என்ன ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா in Shreya Singhal case section 66A was struck off. However, Supreme Court upheld the section 69A but allowed the user to file the writ. அப்பதான் வந்து they gave that if at all if anyone's account is blocked you can file a writ under Article 32. இவ்வளவுதான் சொன்னாங்களே தவிர they didn't say that whether this confidentiality clause is there or not. So at that time Supreme Court could have given certain explanation regarding the confidentiality clause, but at that time they didn't give. Okay, but not clear if blocking order was mandated to be made public or not. So அப்ப public ஆக்கணும்னு they didn't tell the they didn't talk about this. So அதனால என்ன ஆயிடுச்சு, see Supreme Court is telling you are having rights to file a writ, which means that indirectly it is meaning that government should make the reason public, but directly சொல்லல. So that is the gray area. So this thing should be corrected. But in recently Anuradha Basin case, so what is this Anuradha Basin case? So this is I discussed this topic in the first edition of the first video, 5 editorials of the week series. So the first video I discussed about this case, Anuradha Basin case. So it is about the banning of internet in Jammu and Kashmir. In this judgment, Supreme Court said that whenever government is banning internet in one particular geographical region, they should say the reason why they are banning. So in the judgment, they are telling that if you are suspending internet, you have to say the reason. So idhe mari now Supreme Court can come forward and say that whenever the government is blocking government is giving any orders to block any tweet or any account, they should give any reason. They should give the reason. So blocking only in exception. So what is this way forward? This last line is the way forward. So like it was mentioned in Anuradha Basin case, so government should make the reasons public. Only if the reason is public, then only we can take the action or file the writ. So that should become, and that should be coming. Next one is blocking only in the exceptional cases, not in every case. Exceptional case, it should be blocking, not on the small trivial issues. Okay, with court order, there can be a provision where government might go to instead of decision being taken by the government can go to a judicial magistrate. They can tell the order, they can get the order from the judicial magistrate and then take action. Instead of the executives directly taking the action, they can make it legal. like a legal issue. Like government can go to a judicial, like getting a shooting order. If you want to get a shooting order, a police officer cannot just like that take it. They have to go to a judicial magistrate and get the permission. So on the if you want to tap the mobile cell phone or the telephone call, what you have to do? Government can just like that, they cannot do. They have to go to judicial magistrate and get the permission. So on the if you are blocking any account, you have to go to judicial magistrate, then take it. So apdi pota, there will be some procedural safeguard, because judicial magistrate might call the person who has posted the tweet for the explanation also. So with the court order, and the order should be made public. So this is the way forward. Issues with respect to section 69A, confidentiality clause on discretion in the corporate. These 3 points are again the issues, and we can quote these 2 cases while writing the answer. So that is the importance of the cases. Okay, Anuradha Basin case and Shreya Singhal case. So go back and see the first video where I would have discussed about the Anuradha Basin case. Okay. So with this note, we will come to the second editorial, which is about the disengagement. So recently, one good news came that already, there were many flashpoints, like in Galwan Valley, then the Demchok region, Despang Plains, Hot Springs, Pongong So Lake, and Nakula. So these are all the regions where the flashpoints were there in the recent LAC crisis. Already we found a solution for Galwan Valley, and now as a second location, government announced that they disengaged in the Pangong So Lake. So, but still we are having a few flashpoints where the negotiations are currently going. Okay. So what is the impact of this outcome of disengagement in the Pangong So Lake? That's what we are going to discuss today. Okay. Aduk pinnadi what it is there. So we'll discuss those things here. Actually, there were 2 editorials. Okay. One editorial which talked about the positives. Positives, it is a very big achievement. Of course, it is a very big diplomatic achievement because it is a good thing. Instead of going it for a hot pursuit war or any conflict, solving the issue diplomatically and through the military commander level talks, it's a good sign. It should be welcomed. So that is a positive thing. Again, in the positive editorial, I have not taken. This is a light critic, not a major critic. It is a positive editorial. This is also talking about the positive points, but still slight or point. But on the editorial, what they would have mentioned is another positive point. Most of the people don't know the ground reality. So whoever writing this editorial, you or me, or the opposition party, or one normal people don't know the ground realities there because everything is secret. Only those people who are involved at the top government level, like cabinet ministers or prime ministers or the military chief or the general who is doing the negotiation, only they know what is happening there, because nothing is made public, because military thinks everything is secret, it won't be made public. So we cannot just like that comment or criticize anything which is happening there. In this time, with respect to national security issue, we should be united as one India. We should not be divided on the party lines or criticizing the government in these areas, because government will do whatever best to the nation. So, on the time, we don't know the ground reality, so we cannot comment. But whatever has been done is a good thing. Disengagement has taken place. No, there won't be any conflict there. So, that is a positive thing. So, this is the main argument. So, our approach is okay, this is the right approach. Even our vice president also, during the actual defense minister gave the statement in Rajya Sabha. When the defense minister gave the statement, the vice president was there. He was presiding the house. So vice president also said the same thing. So we should not be criticizing or questioning the government here, because it is a national security issue. We have to act as in a single voice. So that should be our thing. But still, in this editorial, Mr. Sushant Singh is giving some analysis. So in GS3, security challenges and management in border areas is a direct topic given in the syllabus. So this editorial is directly related. So India-China disengagement and its outcome. So this is so briefly I'll tell you what happened during the disengagement. So these are all actually I've given a detailed video. So India-China border dispute, I've made a detailed video. Go and see that video. You'll understand what are all these finger and the story and you'll be knowing. So recently what they have decided, see, India claims still finger 8. In the black line is the line claimed by India, and red line is the line which is being claimed by China. So China is claiming till finger 4. Okay. So China was here, India was having their base in the 3. Okay. On the top of post. And India was having their base in 3, but India used to patrol till 8 and they'll be coming back. In the zone, generally nothing will be taking place. China was having their post here. Appopo they will come inside and go out. Okay, they won't have any bases. Appopo they will come in and go out. So last year what happened? They came till 4 and they set up a large base here. So in the large base setup, India what they did? India crossed India வந்து they set up all the base here. இந்த Chushul Valley லியும் Kailash range south side of this. So when they came and occupied these finger areas, Indian army went and occupied these areas. So that tit for tata they did this. So இதனால வந்து direct eyeball to eyeball conflict. எதிர்க்கு எதிர் eyeball to eyeball conflict means both the army are directly facing each other. தொடர தூரத்துல இருக்காங்கன்னு அர்த்தம். Within the touching distance. Okay. So that is eyeball to eyeball conflict. அந்த அளவுக்கு they went very close. So now what they have discussed this is, now what they have discussed it, again China will go back behind the 8 and again India will vacate their occupations in 4. Again India will vacate whatever their occupation they did in Kailash range and they will go back to 3 here. Okay. And till entire issue is over, entire LAC dispute is over, both of the people will not cross. So they have discussed this as no patrol area. No patrol area na, even Indian side will not go on patrol there, even the Chinese side will not come and patrol here. So this is the decision. Earlier, before this last year, May முன்னாடி வரைக்கும் India was having the base here, but they were patrolling till 8. China was having the base here, அப்பப்போ they were coming. Now என்ன பண்ணிட்டாங்க, no one is going to patrol there. So India will be staying here and they will be restricted to here. India should vacate all the things here and China will vacate everything here and they'll go back. So this is what the decision is. So there is no patrolling here till the issue is over. So this is what the decision is taken. Okay. So now the issue in the Galwan Valley is over. Galwan Valley, they took the similar kind of a decision. Angior, they established a 2-kilometer no patrol zone. And now again they have solved the issue in the north and south bank of the Pangong So Lake. Again, no patrol zone is being created between 4 to 8 finger. So still the decision needs to be taken. Despang Plains, Hot Springs, and Demchok. Demchok is located here. Demchok. In the Moon region, still the decision is said to be made. Nakulali, almost it is going to over. So still the negotiations are going on. So 3 more flashpoints left. After 10 long months, we have done the disengagement. Still 3 more points left. But disengagement done in the Pangong So Lake is very important. Why this place is very important compared to others? In the editorial, they will be discussing. 25% of all the transgression. Transgression na Chinese side crossing their line and coming inside the India's place. Other than the transgression, crossing your line. So all the transgression, 25% of all the transgressions in the border took place in the Pangong So Lake between 2014 to 19 in this 5 years. 5 years, 1/4 of the transgression what Chinese army did here. So maximum number of transgression by Chinese army is taking place here. So finding a solution here should be the first step. So that's why it is important. Okay, because it is a land plus lake combo. Because what you are having a lake here and northly on the land, southly on the land. So transgression are taking place in the land and simultaneously both the armies are using the boat. Boat use பண்ணி they are transgressing in the lake also. So அதனால this is considered to be strategically important. Heaviest deployment among all the regions in the border, this region only had the heaviest deployment after May 2020. May 2020 க்கு அப்புறமா maximum number of deployment na, if you could see the Chinese side, they brought everything they can. Military tanker வரைக்கும் they have brought here. Even ஒரு சில கிலோமீட்டர் தள்ளி they are also placed their missiles ங்கிற மாதிரி they are telling. So up to military tanks came here. So both the sides brought their military tanks. Both the sides brought in a lot of tents. So on the howitzer, which we saw earlier, on the howitzer, both sides they were deployed. So heaviest deployments இங்க தான் நடந்திருக்கு. Eyeball to eyeball conflict. Eyeball to eyeball conflict. They are very close here compared to other places. In the flashpoint, both the armies are very close. Galwanli, of course, there was eyeball to eyeball, and that led to death of 20 from Indian side, and they have released a new number of 4 or 5 people. There is no clarity, but still the death took place. Adhe mari ingiyum eyeball to eyeball irukku. Even a small issue here might lead to a conflict like that, like the one which took place in the Galwan, which might lead to death. And the alawukku things are here. And it is one of the tourist spot after 3 Idiots. 3 Idiots climax they shot there. Tamil Nanban climax Andamanla edutanga. But 3 Idiots oda and the drone scene climax they took in the Pangong So Lake. From that time only the Pangong So Lake became a tourist hotspot. So a lot of tourists started visiting in the Pangong So Lake. Adanala enna or issue na, again there is a lot of habitations in and around the Pangong So Lake. Depstanga, Alana, Dowlats Bay Goldie, Hot Springs, Demchok, Angala, we are not having people, human habitation. Human habitation, there is no villages. And the Pangong Kita, since it has become a tourist spot, there is habitations of people. Small hamlets of people are there. So adanala it is more important now. Innor vishayam enadana, if at all tomorrow a tourist is visiting, or the people who are living in the hamlets, நாளைக்கு வந்து இப்ப சைனீஸ் போட் இஸ் கம்மிங்னா வாட் தே வில் திங்க். ஒரு டூரிஸ்ட் நம்ம போறோம், இதுல நம்மளோட இந்தியான்னு சொல்ற ரீஜன்ல இப்ப சைனீஸ் போட் இஸ் கம்மிங்னா அவர் கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் ஆன் தி கவர்மெண்ட் வில் கோ டவுன். வாட் இந்தியன் கவர்மெண்ட் இஸ் அலோவிங் சைனீஸ் பீப்புள் டு என்டர் ஹியர். ஸோ அந்த கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் ஆன் தி கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து டைரக்டா அஃபெக்ட் ஆகக்கூடிய ரீஜன். ஸோ கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் ஆன் தி கவர்மெண்ட் இஸ் அட் தி ஸ்டேக் இன் திஸ் ரீஜன். ஸோ தட்ஸ் வை திஸ் ரீஜன் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் strategically. So we have to take the action as quick as possible. So that's why government gave all this energy and took the action here. Because one criticism on the government, and munadi government what option they kept na, disengagement should be taking place simultaneously in all the points. This is what the stand of the government. But China was demanding that first will let us disengage in Pangong, so then we can go to other regions. But government of India அப்படி சொன்னாங்க. Because ஏன்னா in all the other regions வந்து China வந்து they have come forward little bit. But in the region தான் வந்து India has crossed their lines and went there. So இந்தியாவும் இங்க லைனை கிராஸ் பண்ணி போயிருக்காங்க. So India also occupied certain strategic position as a retaliation. So Chinese government wants to evacuate this. But Indian sideல this is one நம்ம கிட்ட வந்து இது ஒரு ட்ரம்ப் கார்டு மாதிரி. This is one trump card which we had. நீங்க எல்லாமே வெக்கேட் பண்ணாதான் we will go out from hereங்கிற மாதிரி we could have used this as a trump card. But now since it is very important and have human habitations அங்க இருக்கிறதுனால government changed the stance to do the disengagement first here. Okay, so this is the importance of this region. Why disengagement இங்க நடந்துச்சுன்னா security management in border area is a direct topic, so we can expect a question. So they have created a no patrol zone or a buffer zone where the patrol will never take place both in Galwan Valley and Pangong Lake. But இங்க என்ன ஒரு விஷயம்னா இந்த no patrol zone வந்து till now India was patrolling in that region. So அங்க ஒரே ஒரு சின்ன criticism என்னதுன்னா in both the areas wherever the no patrol zone has been created, earlier India was doing the patrol. So going back to normal means going back to pre-May 2020 times means India was patrolling till 8. India was going till patrol point 14 of Galwan Valley. Patrol in the Mari 8 Mari, there is a patrol point 14 in the Galwan Valley. India was going till PP 14. Now both the PP 14 and region between 4 to 8 has been brought under the no patrol zone, which means that India they can go till only 4 da. In between 4 to 8 both the sides will not be coming. So some இது வரைக்கும் patrol பண்ணிட்டு இருந்த region it's not there in India. So whenever they are creating buffer zone, they are creating in the Indian side. So strategically இது வந்து this is one question mark. Why this is happening? So this is one thing. Otherwise there is no issue. So இன்னொரு issue இங்க என்ன பார்க்கணும்னா ability of the PLA na People's Liberation Army of China. Chinaவோட army name is PLA. So People's Liberation Army within half a day they evacuated everything. Half a day they evacuated all the deployments which they had. So within half a day if they could evacuate means within half a day they can again come back. So that is the strength of their army. So similarly we should also have a strong logistics. We have discussed about Parakram. Operation Parakram பத்தி IR teach பண்றப்போ I was teaching. India took a lot of time to deploy the people in the border. So அவங்கள வந்து their ability to quickly withdraw within a day is a threat as they can re-emerge quickly. Hence India must increase its logistic capacity. So this is one point which we can use in the answers. அதே மாதிரி relevance of Quad. See India வந்து started moving closely towards Quad because of the threat of China. In the LAC issue emerge ஆன பிறகுதான் we started moving towards the Quad and we were focusing on the maritime security. But இப்போ வந்து ஒரு saliency bias இருக்கு. What is the saliency bias? நம்ம we discussed in the economic survey this word. Saliency bias னா என்ன? Focusing on the current issue instead of thinking the larger picture. இப்போ வந்து issue பெருசா importance கொடுத்து யோசிக்கிறது. இப்போ if you are going to give importance to Quad na we have to focus on the maritime security also. But since now China kita we have lost trust because China has breached all the agreements which they had earlier and we have lost all the trust on China because China can come back anytime. So அப்படி trust இல்லாத ஒரு partner கிட்ட what we will do after this crisis, even though disengagement is taking place, we will be spending a lot of money to increase the security in this particular region. So again our energy எல்லாமே வந்து will be focusing on LAC and will not be focusing on the maritime sector. So Quad is all about maritime security of the Indian Ocean region and Indo-Pacific region. So instead of focusing our energy there, we'll be focusing our energy here. So there is some issue of saliency bias here. So இந்த மாதிரி keywords note பண்ணிக்கோங்க. Another thing is, another issue is after disengagement, the relevance of Quad வந்து இருக்குமா? Because of this issue நாலதான் we went closer to USA. But after disengagement, whether it will continue or not, it might continue because futurely we need a trump card. So அதனால it might continue, but still the relevance of Quad வந்து after the disengagement continue ஆகுமா இல்லையாங்கிறது another question because of the trade relations between India and China. So அந்த மாதிரி வந்து quad வச்சு just giving a point here, just linking the issues with the quad. Quad. See, Malabar exercise actually வந்து Malabar exercise க்கும் quad க்கும் there is no official linkage, but since the same countries are participating, we are considering both as same. Malabar exercise is taking place for a long period of time. அதை வந்து ஒரு military organization-ஆ convert பண்ணலாமேன்னு they created an organization now. See, focusing on quad-னா என்னதுன்னா more stronger military relations like NATO. So other than I'm just telling whether this quad will convert into an organization called like a NATO or it will just be a meeting. வெறும் வந்து மீட்டிங் பாட்டு மிக்சர் சாப்பிட்டு வர மாதிரி தான் இருக்குமா, இல்லைன்னா ஒரு டான்ஜிபிளான ஒரு மிலிட்டரி அக்ரிமெண்ட் போகுமா? ஸோ அதுதான் வந்து நம்ம பார்க்குறோம். லைக் வாட் வி ஜென்ரலி திங்கிங் இஸ் இட் மைட் பி ஜஸ்ட் அன் ஆர்கனைசேஷன். ஒரு நேட்டோ மாதிரிலாம் போகாது. பிகாஸ் இஃப் த டிஸ்எங்கேஜ்மெண்ட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு ஹேப்பன், இந்தியா வில் நாட் கிவ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ். ஏன்னா அகைன் இந்தியா அலைனிங் க்ளோஸ்லி வித் யூஎஸ்ஏங்கிறது இன்னொரு டேக் ஆயிடும் இந்தியா மேல. ஸோ இட் இஸ் அகெயின்ஸ்ட் அவர் மல்டி அலைன்மெண்ட் ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜி. ஸோ அதனால வி ஷுட் நாட் கோ டூ மச் இன் எனிதிங். ஸோ அதனால தட் இஸ் த திங் விச் இஸ் பீங் டிஸ்கஸ்ட் ஹியர். So these are all the issues. Just note down the terminologies and importance of Pangong Solek. All of that. Okay. So we have to wait and watch how the other areas are going to go. So this editorial is very much important. Disinformation and the cybersecurity threat. Okay. In the editorial, the author is comparing an issue. Okay. Author is comparing the issue of disinformation with cybersecurity. Cybersecurity na enaduna? First line la dhaan cyber security focuses on protecting and defending the computer. So the definition is there in the first paragraph. You can go home and see. Cyber security focuses on protecting and defending the computer system, network and digital life. So you are protecting your computer, laptop by using antivirus or any other thing. That's cyber security. So அந்த மாதிரி வந்து in cyber security conventional what they were doing, the hackers were accessing our private information, accessing our pin codes and doing a financial fraud. They were accessing our information and doing the identity theft. இந்த மாதிரி தான் they were accessing our laptop and taking away our data. So இந்த மாதிரி தான் வந்து cyber security issues இருந்தது. They will be hacking the website and taking the data. இப்போ there is another new issue within this realm that is called as disinformation. இந்த disinformation என்னதுன்னா cognitive hacking ங்கிற அந்த வேர்டை வந்து யூஸ் பண்றாங்க. What is this cognitive hacking? Okay, it is cut off in the இது cognitive hacking நீங்க எதை சொல்றாங்கன்னா, similarly, like how these hackers were hacking the system physically, now these hackers are hacking the brains of the people. Brains of the people na not chip kipla வைக்கிற அந்த மாதிரிலாம் இல்லை, அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நான்சென்ஸ் ஸ்டோரி இல்லை. காக்னிட்டிவ் ஹேக்கிங்னா என்னதுன்னா they are creating opinions on our mind. Okay, by using our biases and prejudice, நம்மளுடைய brain-ஐ வந்து they are making us to believe something. That is called as cognitive hacking. Like for example, cognitive hacking எதுவும் புதுசு இல்லை. Religions were doing it for the past 2000 years. இப்போ ஹிந்துவிசம் பிலீவ் பண்ணீங்கன்னா யூ ஆர் பிலீவிங் தட் தேர் இஸ் சம்திங் கால் ரீஇன்கார்னேஷன். செத்து போன பிறகு அடுத்த ஜென்மத்துல நான் வேற நாயா பிறக்கலாம், பூனையா பிறக்கலாம் நம்பிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. போன ஜென்மத்துல நான் வந்து கழுதையா பிறந்திருப்பேன் போல. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் காக்னிட்டிவ் ஹேக்கிங். We don't know whether it is real or not, but still a lot of people are believing this is true because the religion has hacked your mind. So Hinduism and Christianity and Islam la pathina, they are believing that they are having something called afterlife, heaven, hell. If you are not praying, you will go to hell. If you are praying, you will go to heaven. So your cognition is being hacked by the religion and they are making us to believe something which is not real. So which is not real in either சொல்றேன்னா it is not there in the real life. Real life ல இல்லாத ஒரு விஷயத்தை நம்ப வைக்கிறாங்க. So that is they are hacking the cognition. So religion has been doing this for the past 2000 years, ever since the religion has come. So அந்த மாதிரி these hackers or the so-called people with some vested interest, they are hacking our cognition for their own vested interest, for their own political ambitions or their economic ambitions. இப்போ வந்து ஃபேர் அண்ட் லவ்லி வாங்க வச்சது இட்ஸ் காக்னிட்டிவ் ஹேக்கிங். கிரியேட்டிங் அ பயாஸ் அகேன்ஸ்ட் த பீப்புள் தட் டார்க் ஸ்கின் இஸ் ராங் திங்னு சொல்லி டார்க்கா இருக்கிற பாய்ஸ் அண்ட் கேர்ள்ஸை வந்து ஃபேர் அண்ட் லவ்லி வாங்க வச்சு ஒயிட் ஸ்கின் ஆகுங்கன்னு சொன்னது இட்ஸ் காக்னிட்டிவ் ஹேக்கிங். வேர் தட் கம்பெனி வாண்ட்ஸ் டு செல் தேர் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ், ஸோ தே ஆர் டெல்லிங் தட் ஒயிட் ஸ்கின் இஸ் குட். ஸோ இதுதான் வந்து காக்னிட்டிவ் ஹேக்கிங். ஸோ இந்த காக்னிட்டிவ் ஹேக்கிங் ஹாஸ் பிகம் சம்திங் ப்ரொஃபஷனல் அண்ட் ஆர்கனைஸ்டு நோ. ஆர்கனைஸ்டா ப்ரொஃபஷனலா தே ஆர் டூயிங் ஃபார் பொலிட்டிக்கல் ambitions and for economic ambitions. So on the cognitive hacking oda threat பத்தி தான் we are going to discuss here. Okay, I'm just explaining in brief. So in the editorial வந்து rather than just seeing my points, so of course I have taken the important points that I have listed here. You can go home and read this entire editorial and take more points. So இங்க நான் வந்து I have listed just a few, but இந்த editorial எல்லா லைனும் it is relevant மாதிரி தான் எனக்கு தெரியுது. I couldn't just choose that in the 6 points தான் முக்கியம், இந்த 5 points தான் முக்கியம். So read this entire editorial because again in GS paper 3 there is a direct line called cyber security. Cyber security னு ஒரு லைனே இருக்கு. every year mandatorily there will be 2 questions from internal security. So அதுல கண்டிப்பா வந்து ஒரு 4 questions வருது internal security ல, or sometimes 6 questions, not 6, 4 or 3, not 6, 4 or 3 கண்டிப்பா it will be coming. Cyber security 1 அதுல, அந்த if internal security ல இருந்து there are 4 questions or 3 questions னா cyber security 1 கண்டிப்பா 1 questions will be there in cyber security every year. So அதனால this area is very important again. So this is called as infodemic. Infodemic னா என்னதுன்னா overload of information இருக்கிறதுனால we are coming away from the reality, like how we are believing on hell and the heaven. Hell இருக்கு, heaven இருக்கு, after life incarnation இருக்கு நம்புற மாதிரி, that is which we are believing something which is not real. அந்த மாதிரி வந்து they are making us to believe something which is not real. அதுக்கு தான் வந்து QAnonங்கிற ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து they have quoted here. What is this QAnon conspiracy? It is something which is going on in USA, like already I have discussed in the class. So QAnon conspiracy is that there is a lot of people in USA who are believing that Obama, Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden are aliens. Okay, they are lizards. Lizard people who are wearing masks and they are trying to capture the America. So it's not a fairy tale. This is a reality. Millions of people believing. Okay, millions of people believing that they are aliens. And that's why we should not vote for them. In the Mario campaign, that's why they are hacking the election. So even including a few senators na avanga or Rajya Sabha MP. There are many MPs there who are believing this and they are supporting it. So in the மாதிரி வந்து cognitive hacking, ஏன்னா those people are made to believe. அவங்க அதை நம்புறாங்க. எப்படி ஹெவன் இருக்கு ஹெல் இருக்கு நம்புறாங்களோ அந்த மாதிரி எம்ஐபி படம் பார்த்துட்டு, ஈவன் ஐ ஆம் வெரி பிக் ஃபேன் ஃபார் எம்ஐபி, பட் வந்து அந்த எம்ஐபி படத்தை ரியல்னு நினைச்சுக்கிறாங்க, அவ்வளவுதான். ஒபாமாவை மாஸ்க் ரிமூவ் பண்ணா உள்ள வந்து லிசர்ட் இருக்குன்னு they are telling. So that is the problem there. So they are believing something which is not real. So அந்த மாதிரி வந்து millions of people they have made them and they have used them for the election. So one party used those people to get votes. So that is called as cognitive hacking. So this has been a very big technique and they are using the internet medium for this. That's why it is an issue of cybersecurity. So this is a cybersecurity issue because earlier they used the religious holy books or the something else they were using for the cognitive hacking. Now they are using the directly they are using the internet for this. So அதுக்கான ஒரு definition, again it is a definition which you can mug up and you can write. An attack or what is disinformation or cognitive hacking na? So disinformation நீங்க போட்டுருக்கீங்க, cognitive hacking னு தான் இருந்திருக்கணும். Cognitive hacking means it is an attack and compromise on our cognitive being or cognitive ability. Okay, state actors, ideological believers. So who are all using this? Government is something using it. Many governments are also using it to create an opinion on the people's mind. Ideological believers, violent extremists, or economically motivated enterprises. Like Nada Fair and Lodin or examples on. They are using to manipulate information ecosystem and to create the social discord. Okay, and to create the social. So who are all the people using? So state actors, ideological believers, violent extremists, economically motivated enterprises are using this to manipulate the information ecosystem by overloading a lot of information or putting some certain information and to create social discord, increase polarization and influence of the outcome of elections. So இதுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து they are using. Okay, so இந்த terminologies மட்டும் நோட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. Usage of disinformation to attack or compromise the cognitive being by these people for this outcome. So definition of the structure la you just follow this. Okay, so cognitive hacking is a disinformation exploits the psychological vulnerabilities. Already people will be having certain psychological vulnerabilities. Okay, already people will be having some inherent cognitive biases or bias inside the mind of the logical fallacies na illogical na or sila thoughts irukum. Like for example, I'll just give one example for this. Ipo vandu people இது வந்து like a sensitive topic தான். என்னதுன்னா people who are in the OC category generally they will be having some bias against the reservation. Correct? It is there prevalent all over India because since they are not being reserved, they are having certain bias against the reservation and against the community who is getting reserved. அந்த hard line use பண்ணிக்கிட்டு they will be creating certain fake arguments that okay, reservation la vaangittu vandu if there is a doctor means he will not be an efficient doctor because he is getting only 40 marks to get the doctor seat. But no one in this world will get a doctor seat with 40 marks. Even for cutoff for even the reserved community is 199.25 in government colleges. Even if you are a reserved community, you have to get 199.25. Okay, if you are non-reserved, you have to get 199.75. அந்த மாதிரி தான் வந்து the thing is going on. So, but what is the misinformation they are creating? 40 mark எடுத்தவங்க people are becoming doctors. So, they are using the psychological vulnerabilities of the people and inherent cognitive biases of the people, and they are bringing in an argument to create a opinion in the minds of the people against reservation. கரெக்டா? இப்போ அந்த இப்போ those people who had such a biases mindல இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்லி we can create an opinion against reservation. So this is cognitive hacking, using already existing vulnerabilities in your mind to and using the disinformation I am hacking your mind. So that is cognitive hacking. So இது வந்து like use this இந்த ரெண்டு லைனும் வந்து it's a very good thing. Through manipulated misconceptualized and misappropriated information. So miscontextualized. So manipulated, miscontextualized and misappropriated information. Miscontextualized na enadana ஒரு விஷயத்தை வந்து அவுட் ஆஃப் கான்டெக்ட் எடுத்துட்டு அது பரவாயில்ல. லைக் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இந்த தப்லிகி ஜமாத் இஷ்யூ எடுத்துக்கலாம். கொரோனா வாஸ் ஸ்ப்ரெட்டிங். ஓகே, கொரோனா ஸ்ப்ரெட்டுக்கு காரணம் இந்த தப்லிகி ஜமாத்துங்கிற மாதிரி they created a contextual meaning and they blamed one particular community. So அதுதான் அந்த they created opinion entire India against one community by creating this as an example. So இதுதான் வந்து miscontextualized. So take this recent நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டுல இருக்கக்கூடிய இந்த திருமாவளவன் issue, you can take this. Like திருமாவளவன் talked against Manusmriti. He was quoting certain lines from Manusmriti. Okay, according to Manusmriti, women இந்த மாதிரி அசிங்கமா சொல்லியிருக்காங்க மனுஸ்மிருதியில. He was quoting Manusmriti. But what these people did, they took that video and they said that திருமாவளவன் is talking against women. So திருமாவளவன் was quoting a line from Manusmriti. He told that according to Manusmriti, women are like this. But what these people did, miscontextualized, using that video to create a different context and creating a wrong opinion against the person. திருமாவளவன் பெண்களை பத்தி தப்பா பேசிட்டாரு, திருமாவளவன் பேசல, மனுஸ்மிருதி பேசினதா திருமாவளவன் சொன்னாரு. வைரமுத்து ஆண்டாள் இஷ்யூ இதேதான். வைரமுத்து didn't say anything. வைரமுத்து he just used the quote of a paper. International level they are talking wrong about ஆண்டாள், but we have to celebrate ஆண்டாள் தான் அவரோட ஸ்பீச்ல இருக்கும். We have to celebrate ஆண்டாள். She is a very big literary woman. She has did a lot of contribution to Tamil, but in international arena they are talking about her like this. And the talking about her like this மட்டும் எடுத்துட்டு வைரமுத்து ஆண்டாளை பத்தி தப்பா பேசிட்டாருன்னு they created an opinion. So this is called as manipulated, miscontextualized and misappropriation of information. So I'm just giving you two examples how they are using the using something which took place in real and giving a different meaning while creating a propaganda. So just two examples from the recent times from Tamil Nadu, so that you can understand. அதனால I just gave this. So manipulating the way people perceive the reality. So இந்த மாதிரி யூஎஸ்ல there should have been MIB னால இப்ப நம்ம ஊர்ல we are having ஆண்டாள் and மனுஸ்மிருதி. யூஎஸ்ல they are having MIB. Okay, MIB ல இருந்து ஒரு ஐடியாவை எடுத்து tell Obama is a lizard guy. Okay, so industry and government இதுல மிகப்பெரிய பிரச்சனை என்னதுன்னா, இன்னும் வந்து லைக் இப்போ வந்து சைபர் செக்யூரிட்டி ஆர் ஹேக்கிங்கிறத வந்து வி ஸ்டார்டட் சீயிங் இட் ஆஸ் அ மேஜர் இஷ்யூ. லைக் ஹேக்கிங் இன்னும் சைபர் செக்யூரிட்டியை நம்ம ஒரு மேஜர் இஷ்யூ எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம், பட் ஸ்டில் இதை வந்து நம்ம இன்னும் we didn't recognize it as a major issue. Okay, we are seeing that on a case to case basis. If there is a hashtag genocide of farmers na, அது we are seeing at one case and we are taking action. இப்போ if some foreign singer வந்து ஏதோ ட்வீட் போட்டாங்கன்னா அது we are seeing as one case and we are taking action. இன்னும் வந்து இது வந்து கேஸ் பை கேஸ் இஷ்யூவா தான் we are seeing. We are not seeing it as a holistic issue. We have not created a manpower or we have not created a workforce who will work against it. Like we are having for cyber security. If there is a cyber security attack on India, now we are having an organization called Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT. So this CERT will respond to that and take any action. And they will also give warnings to all the government organization and all the people if there is any attack. If ஏதாவது புது ransomware வருதுன்னா, the CERT will send advisories to everyone. Be careful about this ransomware, don't click in it. அதை வந்து we have organized it. So அந்த மாதிரி வந்து we have not organized this thing. So it is the right time now to see this as an organized crime because they are doing it in an organized way. So industries and government see these attacks in silos. Silos na வந்து individual basisல they are seeing and not as coordinated attacks. And hence these gaps are being used by these people to use this. So இதை வந்து ஒரு organized attack தான் பார்க்கணும். So again வந்து there is something called distributed denial of service attack. This distributed denial of service attack வந்து prevent பண்றதுக்கு தான் we are having something called CAPTCHA. Distributed denial of service attack na என்னதுன்னா, there is a KingMakers website. You want to download a economic survey PDF from the website னு வச்சுக்கலாம். இப்போ at a timeல வந்து I am creating a software ஒரு bot which will create 1 lakh accounts and at a time அந்த 1 lakh accounts-உமே வந்து KingMakers website குள்ள login பண்ண வைப்பேன் to download the economic survey. So I'll create a bot which will create 1 lakh accounts which are going to use the Chrome to log into the KingMakers website and to download the economic survey. இப்போ என்ன ஆயிடுது, you are the people who are going to use the website, but நான் அந்த bot create பண்ணாலும் website will crash because 1 lakh people are going to come and use it. So அதுதான் வந்து denial of service. இந்த அட்டாக்னால you people are being denied of your service of downloading. So genuine people will not be getting the service because of this. இதுக்காக தான் வந்து கேப்சா கொண்டு வந்தாங்க. You create the captcha, traffic light எங்க இருக்கு, zebra crossing எங்க இருக்குன்னு கேக்குது, இல்லைன்னா நம்பர் என்டர் பண்ண சொல்லுது. ஏன்னா இந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் ப்ரிவென்ட் பண்ணணும். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி தான் இப்போ என்ன ஆயிடுது, நிறைய ஃபேக் அட்டாக் இருக்கும்போது the real people will not be getting it. ஸோ அதுதான் வந்து இந்த இஷ்யூலையும் நடக்குது. காக்னிட்டிவ் ஹேக்கிங்ல என்ன நடக்குது, they will be putting a lot of fake news. அந்த மாதிரி லாட் ஆஃப் ஃபேக் நியூஸ் போட்டதுக்கு அப்புறமா we will start questioning the truth also. எல்லாமே ஃபேக் ஆயிடுச்சு. ஸோ we will not believe truth. இதுல ட்ரூத் வந்து மறைஞ்சு போயிடுது. நாளைக்கு ஒருத்தர் வந்து உண்மை போட்டானா அது உண்மை மேல கொஸ்டின் எடுக்கிறோம், கொஸ்டின் கேட்க ஆரம்பிச்சிடும். will be starting to question the truth because of this overload of the இது. So this is also something similar to distributed denial of service attack. Actually this editorial came last week, not this week. So அதை வந்து telling, இது நான் சொல்லல, லாஸ்ட் வீக் வந்தது. So failing legitimate access. Similarly, disinformation campaigns fills broadcast social media with huge false information and truth is buried because of this. So இதனால truth is getting buried. So இது வந்து ஒரு comparison between the cyber security issue and this thing. So learning from the experience of the cyber attack. So disinformation defense system. So like how we are having CERTIN, which is acting against the cyber security defense system, we should create something called disinformation defense system, which will automatically check the authenticity of any information which is being posted in social media. இப்போ நான் சோஷியல் மீடியால ஒன்று போடுறேன்னா அது உண்மையா பொய்யாண்டு ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காவே it should be able to find. We should have a software based on artificial intelligence which will detect whether it is true or not. So அந்த மாதிரி வந்து we have to bring in a system or a human based system where a group of people will be working. So we are having the human based system now. Twitterல, Facebookல there are a few people who are watching the, they cannot see each and every account. அவங்க வந்து இப்போ டொனால்ட் ட்ரம்ப் மாதிரி அவங்க அந்த மாதிரி வந்து they'll fixing யாருன்னா those people who will be very oftenly putting fake messages. So அவங்க அக்கௌண்ட் மட்டும் கொடுத்துருவாங்க லைக் டொனால்ட் ட்ரம்ப். ஏன்னா 30,000 lies வந்து he has posted in the past 4 years. 30,000 approximately. Total lies which the former president of USA posted in Twitter is 30,000. That is a number. They had a counter in Washington Post. Daily basis அவர் சொல்ற பொய்யெல்லாம் கவுண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. So அந்த மாதிரி வந்து we are having humans who are operating on only a small number of people. So எல்லாரோட அக்கௌண்ட் இப்போ நம்ம 30 பேர் அக்கௌண்ட் பார்க்கறது 30 ஆள போட முடியாது. So we need something based on artificial intelligence which will be detecting this fake message or flaggers. Like our home minister gave a new idea recently. பாத்தீங்களா, you can join as a flagger. Flaggerனா என்னதுன்னா, நீங்க வந்து இந்த fake message detect பண்ணி if you are finding something as fake or hate, like already நம்ம report ன்னு ஒரு system இருக்குல்ல, if you are seeing a hatred message, you can report that in Facebook. That information will go to Facebook, but whether Facebook is seeing or not we don't know because of the manpower shortage. So voluntary basis we can bring in the people who can work, but that is a dangerous thing too. It might create a dangerous precedent where people will misuse it. If you are giving the power like that to people, normal people na, so again political issues might come, political targeting நடக்கலாம். But still we can have some official flaggers. Official na like government recognized though, இல்லனா வந்து private company recognized people who are watching all the posts and reporting regularly. And the report பண்ற post எல்லாத்தையும் check பண்றதுக்கு ஒரு mechanism we have to create. If any post is being reported, immediately the Facebook should check. அதுலயாவது artificial intelligence should be brought and labeling them and removing them. So labeling and removing வந்து ட்விட்டர் பண்ணுது. If at all ட்விட்டர் வந்து earlierல டொனால்ட் ட்ரம்போட ஸ்டேட்டஸ்ல என்ன போடும், this is a misinformation ன்னு கீழ போட்டுரும். They will not remove the tweet, but they will post that in the middle. This is not it doesn't appears to be true. அந்த மாதிரி வந்து கீழ அவங்களே போட்டுருவாங்க ஒரு ட்வீட் கீழேயும். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி லேபிளிங், we can do the labeling of thing. They have done it for them. So அதனால ஒரு explicit easy example நமக்கு இருக்கு. So அதே மாதிரி we have to set up taxonomy, definitions and standard operating procedures. So misinformation என்ன, fake news என்ன, அதுக்கு ஒரு definition, standard operating procedures இருக்கணும், ஒரு law கொண்டு வரணும், ஒரு policy கொண்டு வரணும். All those things only is being given here. Media and cyber literacy. So industry, civil society and government should come together and coordinate and create a media literacy to people. We have to educate the people. So easy target for this yarna 50 plus people, 45 to 50 plus people, uncles and aunties. So they are easily getting trapped inside this. So as youngsters we have to educate our parents. So daily basis la I'm doing it and getting திட்டு வாங்கிட்டு இருக்கேன், உனக்கு எல்லாம் தெரியுமா. So So we have to do this. The easy targets in every house is the parents now, because they are easily getting, they are believing anything which is coming in social media. So we have to create media and cyber literacy. So industry, civil society, and government should come together and create this cyber literacy. Okay. So just note on the points. Read an editorial. Read this editorial. It came in the last week. Last week, I just took it. Okay. I found this to be most important from the last week ones. So the next editorial is about the bureaucracy. So recently, Prime Minister gave a statement, strong statement, that Indian bureaucrats are not good. So they are not working like the private sector CEOs. ஒரு பிரைவேட் செக்டர்ல ஒரு சிஇஓ ஒரு பீப்புளா எப்படி வேலை செய்யறாங்களோ அந்த மாதிரி ஐஏஎஸ் ஐபிஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் இல்ல. இந்தியால இந்தியா இஸ் ஹேவிங் பேட் கவர்னன்ஸ் ஒன்லி பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் பியூரோக்ராட்ஸ், நாட் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் பாலிட்டிஷியன்ஸ் அப்படின்னு பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் செட். So Prime Minister himself gave this statement. So yeah, he gave it. It became very big controversy. So he said that, see how the people are working in Microsoft, how the people are working in Google. And the mari we should have IAS officers. He criticized the bureaucrats. So aduketa mari ada based panni, not directly based on this, some indirectly based on this, he wrote this. Okay. So GS2 role of civil services, GS2 la irukku. Role of civil services in Indian democracy. GS4 la probity in governance la philosophy of civil services no topic namakita irukku. In GS4 ethics, philosophy of civil services na irukku. So what is the idea of civil services, who they are, how they should be, whether whatever the criticism they are getting is right or not, adha vechi in the question. So privatization of bureaucracy. எல்லாமே பிரைவேட் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. நீ கவர்மெண்ட் எக்ஸாம் போய் படிச்சு என்ன பண்ணுவோம்? அந்த இவரோட மீம் ஒன்று போட்டாங்க களவாணி படத்துல. ஓகே. ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் in order he is trying to give some idea. சிவில் சர்வீசஸ்னா யார் எப்படி இருக்கணுங்கிறதுக்கு he is giving some idea. அதுதான் இது. Before explaining civil services, he is explaining what is a state. So இங்க political science concept வருது. What is a state? So state na it is nothing but a nation and people together தான் we'll call it as a state. ஸ்டேட்டுங்கிற வேர்ட் எதை குறிக்குதுன்னா ஒரு கவர்மெண்ட் and the people and their interactions between them. Oh, everything together is state. So when a strong state will be created, strong government or the strong nation will be created. எப்படி வேணா எடுத்துக்கலாம். ஸோ ஸ்டேட்க்கும் நேஷனுக்கும் there is certain minor difference, பட் நான் இப்போ பொலிட்டிக்கல் சயின்ஸ்குள்ள போகல. நீங்க எந்த என்சிஆர்டி தெரியுமா? இந்தியன் சொசைட்டின்னு there is an NCERT. அந்த இந்தியன் சொசைட்டிங்கிற என்சிஆர்டில ஒரு சாப்டர்ல they would have discussed this. 12th standard NCERT ல. I think so in political theoryங்கிற NCERT-லயும் they would have discussed this. 11th standard NCERT-ல. So go and study that in NCERT, difference between the nation, state, அது எல்லாமே கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க. So let us not go in detail into that. So when a strong state is created, எப்போ strong state create ஆகும்னா இந்த கலர் டிஃபரன்ஸ்ல ஏன் கொடுத்திருக்காங்கன்னா மூணுமே முக்கியமான எல்லாம் வேற பாயிண்ட். Support from people. First, the state should have support from people. People should trust the government. Then only a strong government or strong nation will be created. So that is first point. Second, strong administrative machinery. That is a bureaucracy. First, people support to the government. Then a strong bureaucracy which provides stability and public services. Bureaucracy role என்னதுன்னா stability. ஏன்னா 5 years ஒரு DMK இருக்கும், 5 years ADMK இருக்கும். But IAS officer is going to be the same person. So they are giving the stability and continuity to the government. Whoever coming into power, bureaucrats role they have to help the person who is coming into power to run the government. Okay, that's why bureaucrats should not be political. They should be neutral in public. So that is the thing. Then they should have the managerial ability to shape and implement the change. So these people, so third point is an extension of the second point. These people who are part of this administrative machinery should have the managerial ability to shape and implement the change. So they should also be adopting to change. If a new change is coming, they should be getting adopted to it. Okay. If WhatsApp, Facebook vanda piragu, each and every district collector is starting a page in the Facebook for their own district. So adhe mari they are starting a WhatsApp group to get the complaints. So is adopting to the change. If you are a bureaucrat, you should be able to adopt to the change. You should not be stuck in the past. If you are working in IRS officer na, new GST system vanda, you should be able to adopt it. If you are an IRS officer in an income tax department na, and the new system, they honoring the honors, we brought in a system. So none of the IRS officers liked it. So I spoke with a few IRS officers. They hated the system to the core because it is taking away their power. But we are bringing in a new change for the citizens' welfare. So they should be adopting it. So on the adopting the change is very important. Those bureaucrats should be able to shape and they should be implement the change and they should be adopting to the change. So on the ability they should have. So these are all the three things. In the மூணுமே இருந்ததுன்னா we can create a strong governance in a region. So on the governance we can take this as the point. So support from the people எப்படி வரும் அதுக்கு வந்து சொல்றாரு how when the support from the people will come. Generally support from the people will come if the government which is being formed is based on certain shared identity like religion, race, ethnicity and language. So in general, so பொதுவா வந்து in entire world if you could say எல்லா இடத்துலயுமே வந்து nationalism is being created based on certain things. So nationalism either was created based on religion like in Pakistan, or based on the race, or based on the ethnicity, or based on the language like German, French, France, Germany எல்லாமே வந்து they are defining the nationalism based on the these things. But India we had this problem of creating a shared identity. Okay, hard in India due to the diversity and entrenched caste division. One side India is very diverse. So India is not a nation as a whole in the conventional sense. India is a new kind of a nation. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நேஷன் இதுக்கு முன்னாடி இருந்ததே இல்லை 1947 இந்தியாவை கிரியேட் பண்ணும்போது இந்தியா வாஸ் தி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் இட்ஸ் கைண்ட் பிகாஸ் இட் ஹேட் சோ மெனி லாங்குவேஜஸ் சோ மெனி ரிலீஜன்ஸ் சோ மெனி காஸ்ட் சோ மெனி எத்னிசிட்டி எல்லாத்துலயும் வந்து மை டைவர்ஸ் இந்த எல்லாத்துலயுமே வந்து we are diverse. At the same time caste divisions வந்து so entrenched that people belonging to one caste never aligned, never thought that the people belonging to other caste they didn't share the brotherhood with them. So sharing the brotherhood na the fraternity, they didn't consider that they are from the same fraternity. நீ நானும் ஒண்ணு இது காந்தி பிறந்த மண்ணுன்னு அவங்க நினைக்கவே இல்லை. ஸோ டீ கடையில நின்று பாரு பண்ணு. So அந்த மாதிரி வந்து this intense caste divisions never allowed the people to அந்த ஐடென்டிட்டி கிரியேட் பண்ண முடியல based on the conventional sense. So what we did, இந்தியால we tried to create a shared identity. So இந்தியாவுடைய நேஷனலிசமே வந்து அந்த இந்தியன் சொசைட்டிங்கிற புக்ல இருக்கும். How this nationalism was created in India. So we created a first வந்து nationalism was started during the freedom struggle. We are going to oppose the British. So Indian should rule Indiaங்கிற கான்செப்டை பேஸ் பண்ணி we created a nationalism in order to fight against the British. So after the independence, we are not having British. So appo vandu how we are going to link this entire society. France lana they are all French people. They will be uniting. So inga nam eppadi panna porom. So United States of America mari da we have to create something. But still anga they had the religious unity. Appo இந்த அளவுக்கு diversity appo USA la illa. USA also got the diversity in the recent 50 years. So அங்க religious இது இருந்தது பட் அது கூட இந்தியால இல்ல. So hence we created the shared identity based on the constitutional identity which the Constitution of India gave, defined something as Indian, which was modern, inclusive, and based on this the idea of India was created. Every Indian is equal and we are going to share our brotherhood, unity in diversity. So based on this concept we created an identity based on this constitution instead of creating based on religion, race அந்த மாதிரி எதுவுமே இல்லாம கான்ஸ்டிடியூஷனை பேஸ் பண்ணி based on the equality and inclusivity we created an identity. அதுதான் constitutional identity. So even though we are divided based on the caste, we are equal. Even though we are divided based on the religion, we are equal. Even though we are speaking two different religions, all the languages, two different languages, all the languages are equal. So அந்த மாதிரி வந்து we created. Of course the third point is being contested, but still language பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் because we are not getting the question paper in UPSC in our language. நான் சொல்லல. So this was the support from people. Indiaல வந்து இந்த constitutional identity building itself was considered to be a very big experiment. So அதனால வந்து strong state create பண்றதுக்கு அந்த first pointலயே வந்து we had this question, but still we existed for the past 70 years. Okay, we came here. Now let us come to the second one, bureaucracy. Bureaucracy we inherited, that is strong administrative machinery which provides stability to the public services, which inherited from the British. So we followed their own thing. So designed to provide stability and compliance with the rules. So British wanted to create a bureaucracy where this role of the bureaucracy is to implement the rules. So just a second, I will call you back in another half an hour. So okay, so இங்க நம்ம வந்து we inherited something based on the British thing. So British என்ன சொன்னாங்க, they will create a rule, அந்த ரூலை implement பண்றது அவங்களோட வேலை. So in order to create a police state, so British was the police state, and the bureaucracy நம்ம inherit பண்ணோம். So it was not equipped to provide change. So அந்த bureaucracyயோட மைண்ட்ல வந்து சேஞ்சுக்கு அடாப்ட் பண்ணிட்டு எஃபிஷியண்டா போனோம். பீப்புள்ஸ் வெல்ஃபேருங்கிறது மைண்ட்ல இல்ல when the bureaucracy started. So we had to bring this concept called people's welfare in their mind. So that was the very big issue then. So but it was not equipped to provide the change. That is the third pillar, managerial ability to shape and implement the change. So now let us see this. So simultaneous management of stability. We need the stability, at the same time we need change also. We cannot be eliminating one for the other. So it is very important for creating the good states and societies. So change versus stability. So in the change versus stability argument, when it was started, it became right versus left. So right people are those who didn't want change, left people wanted change. So on the argument, it evolved into capitalism versus socialism. So capitalistic, they wanted to be modern with the change, and socialist people again on the march in the side. So அதுதான் வந்து market versus government evolve ஆச்சு. So 19th century it started as right versus left. 18th century 19th century it became capitalism with socialism, and now we are having this argument called market versus government. So on the argument it has come and ended. So at the end of the century, 20th century முடியிறப்போ we got an idea that என்னதுன்னா capitalism and the market as the prime movers of the economy ங்கிறதுல there was a consensus. Surely capitalism and market are going to give they are going to be the prime movers of the economic growth, and corporates are going to be the wealth creators. Corporates are going to be the wealth creators, and government are going to be the distributors. So in the mari we got this idea. So 1991 reforms ku appuram adana nammalum pannom. Corporate people create the wealth, government will redistribute it by taxing. So simple, I'm just telling. So that came appada the argument of larger pie came. Larger pie na, the pie should be larger, then only you can share it. So adana nam economic survey la sonnadhu. First grow, after the growth we can tackle the inequality. So and the argument came because at the end of the 20th century, capitalism was believed that it is going to be the prime mover of economic growth. Yes, that is true. So in the corporates are going to be the wealth creators and government is going to be the distributor. But idhila enna or prachana vandaduna, so till the corporate is growing big, so corporate on the wealth creators, so wealth create ana peragu da we can distribute it ingra mari we went into an argument. Correct? Growth first create பண்ணனும், wealth first create பண்ணிடலாம், then we can focus on distribution. So initially when a government is starting development, private players should play the major role to create wealth, then government can come in and distributeங்கிற மாதிரி ஆனதனால தான் now we are coming to this debate that government sectorல our bureaucracy is always against the private sector. So private sector நிறைய உள்ள விடணும், private ஓட practices உள்ள வரணும்ங்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு belief குள்ள we have gotten. So private, so and the argument that is coming. So but what the author is telling at the end is government can bring in the best practices from the private sector. Kandipa, we can bring in the best practices, we can bring in the best indicators, but they can't function like the private sector. See, private sector there is a CEO, he is going to manage everything, but the CEO is not elected by the employees. But government the CM or PM is elected by the people. Okay, anga CEO la ஒரு employee பிடிக்கலனா that CEO can fire that employee, he can hire a new employee, he can create a new alternative. But here it is not like that. If we cannot remove a citizen from the governance. So even though a citizen, for example, only 36%, 40% of the people only is voted for this government. So that doesn't mean that the rest of the 60% people government will not function. Even though the rest of the 60% didn't vote for this government should be working for them. But corporate appdi kedaiyadhu. So it won't function like this. So government should be functioning for all, but corporate will be functioning for their own outcomes. Now let us come into the governance sector. In the bureaucracy, if you are trying to bring in this kind of ideas, pro private or pro corporate, then who will take care of the downtrodden? Because redistribution we cannot eliminate it, like it was discussed in economic survey. Let us focus on the GDP growth, then we can talk about inequality. Or argument will not work here. So we have to simultaneously do the both. Economic survey la sonna the argument against the last point. So we need government and we need the bureaucracy who are going to work like the who will be having the efficiency like private sector, but they will not be always pro private. Inni kuda Prime Minister gave a statement that India should become pro privatization, changing around. So yes, we can take the efficient practice from there, but we cannot be removing the redistribution factor. Government should do the redistribution simultaneously. Grow now, redistribute later illa. Grow and redistribute simultaneously is the right argument he is telling. So this is what now நிறைய points illa சொல்லிருக்காங்க. அதுல இருந்து நமக்கு answer writing என்னென்ன arguments தேவையோ அதை மட்டும் எடுத்து I have just highlighted here. Okay, so GDP should not be the sole indicator. Since GDP is the sole indicator to measure the growth, this problem நம்ம last week discuss பண்ணோம். GDP வெச்சி மட்டும் don't decide. Bring in a thing which factors all these things. We have to bring in an indicator which is measuring economic justice, which is measuring the environmental sustainability and improving the dignity of the citizens. In the மூணுத்தையும் வெச்சி we have to measure the development. Based on that factor, you gauge the growth. Don't just talk about the GDP growth. First GDP growth வரட்டும், அப்புறம் redistribute பண்ணிக்கலாம். Don't go into that argument. You bring in a first new indicator which takes into consideration all the three things. Okay, economic justice, environmental sustainability, and improvement in dignity. Trickle down theory has not worked in India for the past 70 years. 70 years we are telling the same thing. Nehru ஆரம்பிச்சு Nehru ஓட Mahalanobis model தான் the trickle down theory we started. அப்போ we didn't have anything. So அப்போ GDP growth was the sole thing which we had to focus. ஏன்னா அப்போ அந்த ஆர்குமெண்ட் கரெக்ட். We are starting from the scratch. So first we have to grow, then only we can distribute. But 70 years அதே சொல்லிட்டு இருக்க முடியாது. Now we have attained certain level, so now we have to focus on the redistribution also, because trickle down is not working. GDP is growing now, but poverty is also growing, hunger is also growing. So GDP cannot be the sole indicator. So government should create an identity by uniting all the people. So on the point தான் இங்க சொல்ல வராங்க, அந்த shared identity. So corporate வந்து they are not only the wealth creators but also opportunity creators. So corporates வந்து profits மட்டும் நோக்கமா இருக்க கூடாது. Employment generation and welfare of the employees பத்தியும் they should be having their thing in the mind. So political leaders, administrators, business leaders must work together with a shared vision to build India. Okay, and all the three people should work for the poor. They should be working for the poor, and it is countering the argument given in the economic survey. Okay, so எல்லாமே பாயிண்ட் வந்து லிங்க்டா இருக்காது, பட் we are taking the points, just talk point தான் நமக்கு. ஆன்சர் ரைட்டிங்ல எந்த பாயிண்ட் எங்க யூஸ் ஆகும் தெரியாது. With that we can write the answer. Okay, so எல்லாம் டிஸ்கனெக்டட் பாயிண்டா இருந்தாலும் try to get எல்லாமே தனித்தனி பாயிண்டா பார்த்து use it wherever it is relevant. So we'll quickly finish the last editorial, a verdict that has ended the long silence. So GS paper 2 la again fundamental rights, GS 1 la we are having women issues. So in the editorial பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இதுக்கு வந்து முடிஞ்சா read the entire article. ஏன்னா ஒரு அந்த ஆர்டிகலே இந்த மாதிரி டிஸ்ஜாயிண்டடா தான் இருந்தது. It didn't have the coherence, but still we got a lot of points. So now let us come to the final article. So it is about the two articles. So in the editorial I have took, in the Indo editorial I have taken the points from both the editorials. It is not one editorial. Okay. So this both came in yesterday's paper, Saturday paper la vanda articles da. So it is based on the Priya Ramani case, Priya Ramani versus MJ Akbar case, which is a Me Too case. So in Me Too case, brief solliren, Priya Ramani was a journalist who was working in the newspaper which was a media company which was run by MJ Akbar, who is a former external affairs minister of state of external affairs in the government la. So Priya Ramani wrote an article way long back that the way how her boss harassed her, she didn't name them. Name sollamale my boss harassed me ங்கிற மாதிரி she wrote an article. But once this Me Too movement started, she named that person. That name was on the upper the minister. So this took place in 2017-18 அந்த டைம்ல. So அப்போ வந்து that minister வந்து என்ன பண்ணாரு, suddenly, so whenever a woman is bringing in this complaint, these powerful people will bring in the defamation suit. என்னோட பேரு கெட்டு போயிடுச்சு, the defamation suit வந்து that minister filed against this woman, and the case was going for the 3 years. Now the judgment came. So இந்த judgmentல என்ன சொல்றாங்க, generally when a woman is talking about this Me Too issue after a long period of time, people will criticize the women. They will not question the person who committed the crime. And the person who committed the crime பத்தி பேசாம இத்தனை நாளா நீ எங்க போன முதல் கேள்வி இது கேட்பாங்க. So they are always targeting the woman instead of questioning the person who created the crime. So in the judgment la, it is a very important judgment with respect to women issues, which says that women can talk about this anytime, anytime in any part of their life. They can use any platform to talk about this. அப்போ வந்து we cannot be punishing a victim. So here the victim is women. So we should not punish the victim during certain cases. We should punish the accused here, the person who created the problem. So in the mari very important lines வந்து they brought in. So generally வந்து there is this argument, why women are not complaining, why women are not complaining when the case is taking place. இது வந்து 1992-3 ல நடந்தது இந்த issue, but she talked about that in 2017. ஏன் இது 20 வருஷம் கழிச்சு பேசுறேன்னு சொல்றாங்க, எப்போ வேணா பேசலாம். So that is her own story. சின்ன வயசுல எனக்கு டைஃபாய்டு வந்தது, நீங்க எப்போ வேணா சொல்றீங்கல்ல, அந்த மாதிரி தான் அது. She can talk about this because she is having the rights. So why they are not complaining at that time? Because of the unequal power equations between the person who is doing the crime and the woman who is experiencing the harassment. So victims are not generally taken seriously because the person who has done the crime will be in the higher post. So in the lower post la irukka or victim வந்து complaint பண்ணாங்கன்னா what they will do, suddenly they will try to remove her from the job. So மத்த ஆபீஸ்ல இருக்க எம்ப்ளாயிஸ் வந்து they will feel the job security. நம்ம பாஸ் எதிர்த்துற கூடாதுன்னு என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, we will push that woman out of the job instead of taking action against the boss who did the crime. So they are not taken seriously. They are fear of ridicule, because if a woman is coming and telling that she undergoes sexual harassment, and the woman தான் வந்து they will be seeing something as, ஓ நீங்க உங்களுக்கு ரேப் ஆயிடுச்சா, உனக்கு எப்படி கல்யாணம் நடக்கும். அப்படின்னு they are seeing that woman as a burden instead of talking about the issue which she faced. So they are shaming the woman if she is undergoing any harassment. So in the shaming irukku, they are not being taken seriously. She is having the threat of losing the job. Financial necessity irukum. She might not be in a situation to lose the jobs. In the mari, a lot of things force on her, and anything which is short of rape is not being taken seriously. Rape நடந்தா மட்டும்தான் we are taking seriously. Anything other than rape is also sexual harassment. There is a lot of things. Even stalking is illegal according to Nirbhaya Act 2013. A woman can complain even the stalking also. So அப்படி இருக்கிறப்போ anything short of rape is not taken seriously. So இவ்வளோ issues இருக்கு against the victim who is doing the crime. So அப்படி இருக்கும்போது how she will be coming and complaining at that time. Power equations are different. Financial necessity is there. So she is not in a position to complain at the time for her own lifestyle. So when she is having the power, when she is thinking that this is the right time to complain, she can come and complain. So that is what they are telling. So she is not filing a case against the MJ Akbar here. She just said that he harassed me. So that is the thing. So அதுக்கு against we are using something called criminal defamation. So criminal defamation, if a person's reputation is under the stake after a complaint of the woman, that person, if so criminal reputation under section 499 of IPC. Under section 499 of IPC, we are having a provision which says that if at all a person's reputation is under the harm based on certain actions of an individual, then the person can file case against him. So அதுதான் right to reputation under defamation. No one can defame. அதே மாதிரி article 19 defamation is one of the reasonable restriction for freedom of speech. You can speak anything, but you cannot defame anyone. So அந்த மாதிரி section 449 there is this provision for criminal defamation. Sorry, 499 of IPC. Criminal defamation versus right to reputation. So a person is given right to reputation. So if at all a reputation is damaged in public life and social circle, a person can win. So MJ Akbar filed a case against the woman that because of that I lost my name. So people in my social circle are not respecting me because he is giving a fake allegation. He filed a case now. So section 449 also gives an exceptions for the criminal defamation, where you can defame a person. You can defame a person, anything which is true. If you are talking the truth, it is not defamation. நீ உண்மை பேசுறீங்கன்னா அதுக்கு எதிர்த்து டிஃபமேஷன் சூட் போட முடியாது. So it should be true. It should be revealed for public good. Okay, public good, if it is going to benefit anything, you can talk wrong about a person. When you can talk wrong about a person, if it is a truth, you can talk wrong. Ajmal Kasab is a terrorist in Nasonna. Ajmal Kasab cannot file defamation case on me because he is a terrorist, because I am talking the truth. Correct? So it should be revealed on the public good, for the public good. Public ஏதாவது welfare நடக்க போகுது by revealing it. She revealed it so that more people will get strength to come and reveal their own stories. Okay, in the public area. So அந்த மாதிரி there is some public good is there in the Me Too movement. அதே மாதிரி இதெல்லாம் exceptions given in the section 99 itself. So Priya Remini used these sections when the case was filed against her and they won the case. Rebecca Johnங்கிற ஒரு lawyer who came for her. So made in the good faith in the interest of any person. இப்போ a third person கோ இல்ல அந்த personக்குமே if it is if she is not talking, if it is going to create any harm na, then she can talk. இப்போ இந்த உண்மையை நான் சொல்றதுனால சொல்லாம இருக்கிறதுனால எனக்கு கெடுதல் நடக்க போகுது அப்படின்னு இருந்ததுன்னா நான் உண்மையை சொல்லலாம், even though if it is against someone. So இந்த மாதிரி exceptions even 499 itself is having. So அந்த exceptionsல you can defame a person on this criteria. So what the judgment said was, yes, she used the Me Too movement based on these criteria. So criminal defamation cannot be posted because section 499 there are exemptions. So இதுதான் அந்த கேஸோட brief story, because this is a very big important thing. Me Too there wasn't any direct question till now. We can expect a direct question both in paper 2 and paper 4 ethics. So there can be a question. So many instances in the past where accused of the sexual offense have walked freely without the closure to the victims. So இப்ப மதுரா rape caseல the rapist walked free. Even though everyone know he was a rapist, he wasn't punished. Okay. So in the மாதிரி we are seeing a lot of cases where the rapists are not being punished because of the lack of proof. So ஒரு rape நடக்கிற இடத்துல women proof search பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பாங்களா? That is not possible. ஒரு sexual harassment ஒரு தனி ரூம்ல closed wallக்குள்ள நடக்குதுன்னா where will women will go for proof? So அந்த மாதிரி proof இல்லைன்னு a lot of people are working there. Mathura rape case is a very different case. I am not talking about that in detail. It is a மோசமான case. You can go home and study. Mathura rape case 1978 போட்டீங்கன்னா you can see. Okay, and the consentங்கிற அந்த வார்த்தையை வச்சு this case would have gone. So this is the judgment given. So அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும்போது this judgment is very important thing. with respect to these cases. When we are seeing in the cases where people who have done the harassment and walking free, this judgment is very important because it is standing for the women. Right to reputation cannot be protected at the cost of the right to life and dignity of the woman. So this is the judgment given. So right of reputation of a person is cannot be protected at the cost of the dignity of the woman. When the dignity of woman is going, you are not having any right to reputation under Art Section 499. That's on the first line. This judgment, this line is very important, most important highlight of the judgment. Unequal equations of power between accused and victim. So unequal equation of power irundirukku. He was the boss and she is a normal employee. She gone for the interview. The interview appo nadakudhu. She went for an interview. During the interview, that guy did this. So she was not even the employee then. So வேலை அப்பதான் கிடைச்சிருக்குங்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு லைஃப் த்ரெட்டனிங் சிச்சுவேஷன்ல this took place. So there is some unequal equation of power. Women cannot be punished for writing the voice against sexual abuse. So women cannot be punished. Only the person who did it can be punished. So this is very important. Again, woman has the right to put her grievance at any platform of her choice, even after decades. So this is another important line. எப்போ வேணா போடலாம். யாரும் வந்து நீ ஏன் போட்டேன்னு கேட்க கூடாது. அவர் பண்ணாரா இல்லையான்னு தான் விசாரிக்கணும். ஸோ எல்லாரும் சின்மையை தான் கேட்டாங்க, நீ ஏன் இத்தனை நாள வந்து போடுறேன்னு. யாரும் வந்து they didn't ask the person who was accused. வைரமுத்து கிட்ட யாருமே கேட்கல, ஏன்பா நீ என்னப்பா பண்ணேன்னு அவர் யாரும் விசாரிக்கல. எல்லாரும் they were questioning only சின்மை. So that is a wrong thing. They should have investigated this guy instead of questioning her. So that is one thing. Woman has the right to put her grievance in any platform of her choice, even after decades. Need for women to have equality. So இது வந்து ஒரு முக்கியமான விஷயம். Already we are having low labor force participation rate. இது ஜட்ஜி சொல்லியிருக்காரு. So that is one good thing. Already we are having low labor force female labor force participation rate because women are in the different power equation. So there is a need for a woman to have equality, freedom and equal opportunity and social protection if the way for them to excel in an atmosphere where workforce participation is low. Our workforce participation is low, the power equations are not equal between men and women. இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிற டைம்ல we have to protect the women. Then only the workforce participation will increase because this might be a reason for reduction of workforce participation. வேலைக்கெல்லாம் போனா ஹராஸ்மெண்ட்லாம் நடக்கும், வெளியெல்லாம் போனா ஹராஸ்மெண்ட்லாம் நடக்கும், 8 மணிக்கு மேல போகாத. இப்போ why women are not allowed to go out of most of the homes after 8 o'clock? ஏன்னா அங்க ஹராஸ்மெண்ட் நடக்குது. ஸோ இந்த ஹராஸ்மெண்ட்டை நம்ம என்கரேஜ் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தா women's right will be curtailed. So if I want to protect the women's right, I have to punish the person who harassed. So அதுதான் argument of the judge who gave the judgment. ஸோ லேபர் ஃபோர்ஸ் பார்ட்டிசிபேஷன் ரேட் ஏறணும்னா கண்டிப்பா இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ரொடெக்ஷன் உமனுக்கு கொடுக்கணும். இயர் உமன் இஸ் ஹேவிங் த ப்ரொடெக்ஷன் வித்வுட் தி ப்ரூஃப் ஷீ இஸ் கிவிங் அன் அலிகேஷன் ஆன் த பர்சன். அந்த அளவுக்கு ஹை பவர் கொடுத்தாதான் இந்த அன்இக்குவல் வேர்ல்ட்ல வி கேன் பிரிங் இன் சம் ஈக்குவாலிட்டின்னு தே ஆர் ஃபினிஷிங் இட். ஓகே, ஸோ தீஸ் ஆர் ஆல் தி பாயிண்ட்ஸ் விச் வாஸ் கிவன் தர். திஸ் வேர்டிக்ட் வில் ஆக்ட் அஸ் அ டிட்டரண்ட். இந்த வேர்டிக்ட் வந்து நிறைய பேர் பயம் கொடுக்கும். மீ டூ மூமெண்ட்ல இத்தனை நாளா வந்து பவர்ஃபுல் பீப்புள் என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாங்க, இப்போ உமன் இஸ் கொஸ்டினிங், அவங்க மேல டிஃபமேஷன் போட்டுருவாங்க, மான நஷ்ட வழக்கு போட்டு என் மானம் போயிடுச்சுன்னு they will again harass her for the second time by filing a case. So this verdict will create a deterrent on the people who are using this criminal defamation as a tool to escape the persecution. So இனிமேல் யாரும் அதை பண்ண முடியாது. So of course it is a lower court தான், இன்னும் டெல்லி ஹை கோர்ட் இருக்கு, சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட் இருக்கு. We have to wait and watch how the case goes, but still this judgment is a very important judgment. Okay, so note down all these points. இந்த colored விஷயம் எல்லாமே வந்து the judge have taken copy paste from the judgment. So judgment வந்து டைரக்டா எடுத்தது தான். So please note it down. So with this note we have come to the end. If you are having any doubts you can ask me. So people in the online, if you are still having any doubts you can post in the comment section. We are not having the chat box. 1.5 hours ஆயிடுச்சா, half an hour late ஆயிடுச்சு, I'm sorry. But நிறைய explain பண்ண வேண்டியதா போயிடுச்சு. So live chat is not working. So people in the online, if you are having any doubts you can post your doubts in the comment section. I will come and answer it. Okay, உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது doubts இருக்கா? வைண்ட் பண்ணிடலாமா? shall we wind up? இல்ல கிளாஸ் ஓவர், அவர் மட்டும் டவுட் கேட்கணும். ஏன்னா நீங்க சொல்லுங்க. அதுதான் என் பிரச்சனையே. சி அதுதான் சோஷியல் மீடியாவோட சேலஞ்சு. பிகாஸ் anyone sitting in any corner of the world can do this attack. அதுதான் சைபர் அட்டாக். So that is the challenge in tackling the cyber attack. லீகல் ஆக்ஷன் எடுக்க முடியாது. ஏன்னா அப்படி சி we are still having a lot of people who have committed crime in India and staying in a foreign nation. தாவூத் இப்ராஹிம் எடுத்துக்கோங்க. So this is happening there. Extraditionலாம் வந்து இல்ல. So அந்த மாதிரி that is a challenge of cyber security. So toolkit case, that is a different case. So we'll go அதுல இன்னும் நிறைய டைமென்ஷன்ஸ் இருக்கு.